Kia ora, namaste, assalamualaikum, sat sri akal, kemcho, varakam, ayombowan, nisa bula vinaka. Welcome to Cop Chat. I'm Jessica Puang, the Ethnic Responsiveness Manager for Tamaki Makaurau of the New Zealand Police. First of all, I'd like to thank Apna TV for allowing me to use this platform to reach out to the communities. Today, I have invited two very important guests, Nilima from Shantanu Charitable Trust and also Sucharita from Hayata Social Services and Counseling. Right, welcome to Cop Chat.
Thank you, Jessica.
So, first of all, maybe Nilima ji, would you like to introduce your organization?
Shantanu Charitable Trust is an NGO that provides culturally appropriate social support services for senior citizens and their families, and this is our 25th year in service.
25th?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you, yes, and we are all very proud of that achievement.
It is.
And we provide a lot of services for the seniors for their betterment and for their good living in New Zealand. We've got positive aging programs, and we've got drop-in centers where people who are older people who are isolated come to these programs and get involved in activities. About 300 people come to our programs Auckland-wide every week.
Okay, that's quite a lot of services within that. I'll come back to you, but let's go to Sucharita ji. So can you share with us what your organization do?
Sahayata is a counselling and social support organisation. We're based at Counties Manukau, but we deliver services across Auckland. We work with over 32 ethnic communities, Jessica, and our services are delivered in 16 languages, and that's our strength.
16 languages?
16 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
South Asian languages or?
South Asian, African,
okay.
multiple languages from different countries, just to make sure that a community of, we're still 190 short, I think, because Counties Manukau has over 220
I'm
ethnic
sure.
communities.
Yes.
So there is a need, and that's been our strength, and we do that really well. We also provide, we are the service provider for Gandhi Devi program, which is a joint venture between police and Gandhi Devi board and Sahayata, where we work through family harm.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Gandhi Devi. What services do they provide?
So Gandhi Devi, we have 3 residential homes for our men. They are early intervention family violence prevention services. So when there is a police call out, if the family is struggling with some issues, and there is no major offence in there where they have to be criminally charged, police offer that as a support service for men. When they are offered or given a PSO and a person is bound, a police safety order, which tells the person that you can't come home anywhere between 1 day to 10 days. It's at that point that we get a referral through, and they bring the men home to stay at the home. We conduct home visits, then talk to the partners and the families, and then come up with a plan that is actually client directed. Most of the services that you see out there, you see community coming in and fitting into the agency model, whereas here we're asking the clients what is it that their needs are, and we're tailoring ourselves to them.
And I think last time we spoke to Detective Inspector Brett Betty, and he also mentioned that about Gandhi Devi, and I think having a service or house, you have 3 houses now.
That's right.
That men could actually go to. Like you mentioned, it could be referred by the police. So I'm just wondering, say if I'm the man and I'm really feeling quite angry, say for example, can I go on my own without a referral from the police?
So at the moment we've established the home with a PSO guideline. Having said that, there are many at our home in Te Atatu. We've supported over 150 families just with counselling, and those men did not stay at the home. So when anybody walks through our doors, we conduct an assessment, and then we tailor a plan according to their needs.
Oh, so they can choose to stay or not stay.
Yeah.
And then if they need counselling, do they go to Sahayata Or do they go to Gandhi Devi?
It depends on the area that they live in.
All right.
So for Te Atatu, for somebody to come all the way to Counties Manukau for counselling, you waste about 45 minutes just on travel time one way.
I
And
see.
it would be just unreasonable to have that expectation. So the Te Atatu home is located on 492 Te Atatu Road, but it takes care of some clients from Auckland area, also from Rodney and from North Shore. So you do have the entire Waitemata region being covered in there.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to you later on because I do have some more questions. Let me ask you this. So when the men stay in those homes, what is provided for them?
So
Obviously there's beds and stuff, but what else do they do there?
So we've got a home with beds, of course. It's at no cost to the client.
All right, okay, so
that's
it's a
right.
free service.
It's a free service.
I think that's important for our community to know.
So they get meals that are provided, but we encourage them to cook those meals because we don't want it to be sleeping in a motel service kind of a setup.
So who supplies the food?
So
I mean the ingredients.
we've got an in-house coordinator 24/7. So that person is either a social worker, or qualified social worker, or a counsellor, or an alcohol or drug practitioner. So if a man says, typically you would find other agencies saying, oh, they say they work from 9 to 6 or 7, they can't come for counselling during those hours. So if one of our clients says, oh, I only finish at 8 o'clock, we've said, fine, we've got somebody there who's a professional at 8 o'clock, you can come in and have a conversation. So all of these people are trained in various modalities and they work with families, not just individuals but families. So when we conduct our home visits, sometimes schools already have a counsellor, and pulling that child out of that school to bring for counselling could be a lot of effort for the parents, and might interrupt their schedule. So we connect back with the school counsellors to say that if they are providing counselling for the child, we then take care and support mum and dad with whatever is it that they need. There is housing support that we provide. There is employment support that we've provided. People wanting to go back into education stream to empower themselves, we've provided support with that. And anger management programs, living without violence programs. So we've got wraparound counselling support and additional supports that they need from.
And those kind of counselling support and services will be provided by Sahaita.
That's right.
Okay.
And if there is a specific need for them to say that, I'm a Samoan person, I need somebody who can speak Samoan language. And if we don't have that person on the team, we connect with a local service that is more appropriate for them.
Okay.
We're constantly working with the community to see that we don't double up where there is already support in there. Whether it is mental health support, alcohol and drug support, if it's parenting programs somebody is offering that is more suitable to them, we always work with what's in the community as well.
All right, so that's quite a lot of information there. But Lilimaji, with your community, your people, what are the usual needs that they have? I mean, I just heard what Sucharita Ji said, but what about your people?
See, basically, the senior citizens who are here are parents of migrants, and they're migrants themselves. And as you know, families are busy, during the daytime and most of the time with their children, with their work. They don't have much time for the seniors. Not intentionally, but how the lifestyle in New Zealand is. So by coming to our programs and getting involved in the activities, it gives them something to do and not get bored. And when the people come in, what we see is the people who come for the first time are very, very depressed, isolated, lonely, because they are new to the culture, the environment of New Zealand. And so when they come in, they make friends with other people who are there, and slowly their support system starts building up. And when we started running these day programs, we saw the need for a lot of other services. So people, when they became confident, started talking about issues, not just loneliness, issues about elder abuse and a lot of other things. And of course, some of our seniors who come from India, they are highly qualified, educated people. And when they come here, they had nothing to do. So they want to contribute back to the society. So basically, our programs are divided into three. One is to combat social isolation, social services, intervention, and then empowerment programs. So we look at the holistic development of their life here in New Zealand, and we run a lot of social services specifically targeted at senior citizens. We have a program called Kushi, that means happiness, and that is where we work with the seniors who are in the situation of abuse and neglect.
So with senior citizens, and I know, and this is across many of our ethnic cultures, we normally don't want to report anybody of our family members. So especially with senior people, they would, I mean, how could they, that's in their minds.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening with your people?
Every time, because
so what do you do?
There's a lot of stigma around this subject, because in our culture, they are supposed to be living in a joint family. The sons or the daughters are supposed to be looking after them. But when that is not happening, it puts the senior in a very, very sensitive position, because it is the children who are abusing them. And how can a senior complain against their own children?
Exactly.
So that is a very, very tricky situation which we come across often. And it is a challenging part for us to tell them to go out and complain. But they are scared because of the retribution. Suppose they complain and the son or the daughter says, no, you cannot live here anymore, where will they go? So what we did was, we have an emergency housing for seniors.
Oh, you have to?
Yes, we have, and we started that with the Ranchod Foundation, who have given us a house to run as an emergency house for seniors. And we have supported about 25 seniors in the last 2 years.
Okay.
We are not very happy about the statistics, because we don't want anybody in that house. That is not our culture, and that is not what the outcome we want for our seniors. But at least there is a safe place for them to go to if they want to.
Yes.
And when they come there, our social workers work with them. And for us, it is very important to work with families. We are not, because our culture is very inclusive, and for us, families are important. So the first step is to talk with the families, do a mediation, and see what is the problem. Sometimes, I always say, you clap with both hands.
Correct.
So we speak with the families and see if we can mediate and ask them to take the older person back home. Most of the time it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen as well, because the division is too much. And that's why we always encourage our seniors to come and talk to us in the beginning stages of the conflict, and not at the end of the conflict, when the relationship is already becoming bad. And then if they don't want to go back to families, or the families don't want to take them, then we work with Housing New Zealand, Work and Income, and we try to move them on to other safer accommodations like Housing New Zealand or whatever services. And when the person is there, we connect him with our day programs, so they come to our day programs as well.
I think, when I heard about your day programs, I'm actually quite happy with those kind of programs, because in terms of mental health, it's actually giving them, this senior citizens,
An opportunity.
A sense of belonging to New Zealand, an opportunity to meet other friends. And then I know that they do exercises, and you bring a lot of people to speak to them. It's really, really good.
Self-esteem,
It builds up
building
their
on the
self-esteem.
self-esteem takes away the sadness and depression and loneliness. I can speak for Nilima too here. When in the ethnic sector, when we work, our culture is like a double-edged sword, Jessica. It can be our biggest strength, and it can be our biggest barrier to integrate into New Zealand. What we bring with us sometimes can really be damaging for us when we are trying to make a new life here in New Zealand. And I think reaching out to services, who we are kind of like the bridge that gets people across. And I think it would be really nice for people to actually pick up the phone and call us, or talk to somebody who can talk to us about it, so we can actually help them with whatever they need.
Because of the barriers about going to the police, it is really good that they come to and talk to us. And I should thank the liaison officers who are always on our side. They are a real bridge between the police and the community. So sometimes they have come with us in plain clothes, which makes it less intimidating for the older person and the families. So we often take that help. And every case has different onus to it, so it depends upon how bad the situation is. If it is really bad, and the person has been harmed physically, then we of course go to the police and
Of
seek
course.
help.
Mm.
But otherwise, if it's not that bad, it's more case of a neglect or a physical or a emotional abuse, then we talk to the families and see how best we can help out.
Yes, I still remember I think it was the first time I went to Shantanu with an officer.
Mm.
There was one of Nilimaji's members ran to the toilet to hide because she was so afraid of the police. But then I think after a few visits we went, she came and hugged us rather than, so that breaking barrier is very important.
And I think it is very nice of you also to break down that barriers. Because now the police comes to us and they give regular talks, and so people are more comfortable and asking them questions and telling them their issues and things like that. So I would like to thank you guys as well for breaking down the barriers.
I think it's working together. Also, you have this community safety ambassador group with the senior citizens.
That's right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
As I told you, we also have work under this empowerment model. So where we engage our seniors and give them opportunities to give back to the community. So one of the things is the community safety ambassadors, which we work with in Onehanga with the community constable there. And of course, you initiated that process, and it is really going well. About 20 seniors are enrolled in that project. They go around with the police once a month on a kind of a beat and give out safety information to the people around the community, and also collect some information for the police.
Yes, I remember. They come running to us and tell us,
Yeah.
oh, there, something happened.
And one more project they do is with the Middlemore Foundation.
Okay.
The seniors actually own that project. They make woolies for babies from 0 to 2 and donate it to the Middlemore Foundation.
Wow.
So they self-raise the money, they do the knitting, and they just give me the beautiful woolens which they knit.
Wow. That's
And
great.
recently we have started another project visiting the Viri prison. Because of the culture, the South Asian prisoners there are very isolated. There's a lot of depression among them. And so we have connected our seniors to those prisoners. So they go there twice a month, sit and have a chat with them, do some prayers, just connect them with the outer world. And the seniors come with a lot of life experience, wisdom. So if they can impart a little bit of that knowledge to those prisoners, and if they can, even one of them comes out and rehabbed and not go back and into criminal activities and go back to jail,
Yes.
that is a big achievement for our senior citizens.
So coming back to you, Sucharita ji, how successful is the program that you mentioned just now? Is there any stats to tell us that, hey, this is really good, it's working?
So the governance board has strong police presence as well. Inspector Rakesh Naidu, Sharon Price, Gurpreet Arora, they've all been integral part of Gandhi Devi. So I think Rakesh was very keen at the outset that we get an independent research body come in. It's okay, Nilima talking about her statistics, me telling you what we're doing right, by having a third party has no
Independent
party to come in and actually assess the situation would be very good. So Massey got stuck in pretty earlier on with the research. First year showed really good results in terms of 93% of the men that came in through the home did not reoffend. So we opened doors in 2014. This research came in 2015. And then they did the second set of research came in from another team of Massey, where they did the stories of men. This particular researcher, Tony, used to come on a weekly basis, cook meals for the men at the homes, and sit down and talk to them about their journey as to what it has been. The culture of family violence we're talking about here. And there were some really good stories that came out of it. The third leg of research, because this is going to be longitudinal research, have been both qualitative and quantitative. They've met with the women, and who are actually the real assessors. They are the ones that will give you a tick box or a note to say where the violence has stopped. Some women and families they've met with, and that's been an interesting. We're waiting for that report to come through.
Okay.
So that's going to have data of reoffending and revictimization as well. So I think they're still working with PNHQ to get those results out.
Sure. So that report is coming out soon. But from your point of view, I'm sure you would have felt something, and I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, there have been beautiful stories that have come out of it. We've had young people, so many young people who've come back. 150 of the men that came in have actually called in to say, listen, I'm in a really tight situation. I feel like I'm going to pop now.
Alright.
And I want to come back and get some more counseling support. Can I come back to the home? And for us, our big success stories are those 150 plus men who've actually re-referred themselves without acting out.
Okay.
So somewhere in the counseling that we've provided, that they've accessed, they've understood what their trigger points are. When is it that they can respond? Where is it that they can go back and take help? So what they've done is they've not hurt their partners or themselves. Your police haven't had to visit the home and bring them. They themselves understood that they are in a situation where they are really at the age and they needed to come
And
back.
I think that's the most important part. It's I think when someone is really angry or about to do some harm to oneself or even to the other, to identify identifying is one thing, but the willingness to get help is so important. So they're coming forward. I think that's so fantastic.
We have partners too sometimes call in and say, you guys need to pop by and have a cup of tea with us,
Oh, right.
Maybe there's loss of employment, maybe there's just some small arguments that are coming up and they know that this could actually potentially escalate. So it's really good for us to have those relationships. I think it's very keen, very, very important to the work that we do, very crucial.
My gosh, all these examples that you've given us is so good, and I hope our community is listening to these two wonderful people sharing some of the things that you can actually do if you think one of your family members or even yourself is about to blow up. And don't wait until it happened, but here are some services that is available. Now I want to go on to something else. Because I myself do a lot of listening to others. I'm not a professional counselor, but throughout the 30 years that I have been in New Zealand, I have many opportunities where I listen to people and then I gave them some suggestions. Sometimes it can be quite draining. So I want to hear from two of you, because two of you are always so compassionate and wonderful and smiling and warm. I mean, every time I meet you, Sucharita ji and Nilima ji, you guys just give me warmth. Tell me what are some of the things you do for yourself in terms of eradicating some of the burden and draining of yourself.
Family harm is a draining space, Jessica. You're absolutely right. And I always say, unless you filled your jug, you can't pour water to other people, can you? It's very important to have a space of self-reflection. In professional practice, we've got clinical supervision, we've got peer supervision. So there's always conversations around and meeting those targets of actually exploring those issues that are affecting your work. We recommend personal counseling to counselors within ourselves too.
Okay.
There are people we go to and we talk to,
Okay.
because we have lives too, and things get in the way of things. So it's very important to be very mindful of where we are as professionals. Then I think that really keeps us balanced. And knowing that when you close the door, you close the door. And I know some police officers work 24/7. We try as much as we can to make sure that we close it at the end of the day, take our weekend offs, and just so that we can re-energize ourselves before we come back for the following week.
Now I see. And what about you, Nilima ji?
Yeah, as Sucharita said, you have to have a strong heart, first of all. And I think it is the passion which drives us, and most of the time the passion takes care of everything, I feel. Because working in the field of elder abuse and with elders, it can actually touch your heart many a times. And it is very difficult, but I think the training in social work actually makes us strong. It teaches us when you can stop and when can you say no. So before I trained as a social worker, I could never say no. But I think that 3 or 4 years of training teaches us the boundaries
Yes.
as to how far you can go. But sometimes it doesn't. The boundaries doesn't stop us. We do cross those boundaries many a time because of the passion and because of the work we want to do for the seniors and their lives. But the family is a great support,
Right.
and without family support we can't do anything. And it also comes down to the team you're working with in your office. And I think both of us have got great teams
Absolutely.
working with us, and their support means a lot.
Okay.
And yeah.
So thank you so much. That's all the time we have for today. And after hearing two sisters here talking about all their work and actually understanding how you could get help if you think that you need it. So that's amazing. Yeah, I'm really learning something from both of you as well. So, however, your feedback is very important for us, so do email us. And next week, I'm going to invite Inspector Sunny Patel. He's the area commander for North Shore, and he's going to share with us on how to prevent your cars from being broken into. So tune in the next time, and thank you for watching Cop Chat.